finger and say they done it to us, and those people who are innocently pointed out get sent to Sisika. It is not how it's supposed to be.
What the hell?
Let me ask you a question real quick. If I started a livestock association and placed obviously the bison it should be protected anyway. But with the livestock association, there will
out of the law, because that will be breaking the law.
There we go.
That will allow other
Much
people
better.
to join in and make their own rules, even if they have no right to do so. And they will come in under the livestock thing and do this for the simple fact of creating disjoint. Many has tried. I
don't think if you did the livestock association, I don't think you could then, given that gets into a prominent position, right? That's the hypothetical, right? You get into a prominent position. You couldn't then start another thing trying to create stability within that region with another group. You know what I mean? You couldn't be the livestock group. You know what I mean? When you've got the livestock association, because maybe the government wouldn't allow it. Well, I think they wouldn't anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it working. I don't know what happened. That was so weird.
You can try your best, but I can tell you what the answer is going to be.
So weird.
No. You will not be the first one who has tried that, settler or native. Or even government.
She's got a point, though.
I don't know. Again, I fancy my chances. I'm pretty fucking slick, more. You know what I mean? I'm gonna lie to you.
Yeah, you might be slick, but they are cheaters.
Oh.
And they may agree to this thing until you do what it is that they agree to, and then they will find the ways to make you pay for it.
Well, they want some kind of tax. That's what they would want. You know what I mean? The government is sufficed with money. I mean, that's the whole reason they build all these things. I mean, liquor licenses and business licenses.
What's going on?
Mister, if the government cannot even hold up to the treaties that they have signed with peoples, and I do not just mean our peoples, I mean in general, what makes you think they're gonna hold up to this?
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but you're asking for laws to be governed by lawmen. You know what I mean? Whereas if these things were under control of a livestock association like myself, then those things are controlled by me and the people more than they are controlled. You know what I mean? And
then the first thing they're gonna say is like, you are under the law, and therefore you will do as we tell you.
Oh, absolutely. You'd follow the laws and say, I'm a law-abiding citizen, except for the things and matters regarding livestock.
And no, there's no exception.
Yeah, absolutely there is.
No, sir, there is no exception. Even the land that we stand on, we have to pay taxes to be on it. It is their land. And I do not just mean me, I mean everybody. They own us. They own it.
Nah.
The only ones that don't is an armadillo. The government, but even there, the government is saying, you can be independent for as long as we say you are independent. You can have your own laws and your regulations, your constabulary and whatever else for as long as we say it, because if we don't say it anymore, you are not that anymore. This is theirs. That is how they look to it. As for livestock, you are talking livestock, not wildlife. To them, livestock would be the cows, the cattle, the sheep, the goats. It would not be the elk, the moose, the bison, the eagles. Unless they make an ordinance like they have for the bison and the eagles, it is not by law, and they do not recognize that whoever does a thing will pay for that thing by their laws and their rules. That is, and so you know.
Maybe it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for approval.
And you do not think that we have been doing this thing for many, 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 many years?
I imagine you have.
We do not ask the permissions anymore. Some of us, we make our decisions and our choices, Mr. Bell. Me, I choose to try and talk. Or Hansi, no. The Akota, in between somewhere. The Apache, for sure, fuck no. The Comanche, yeah, absolutely not. So as First Peoples, we make individual choices when we come across these things. But none of those choices is set out by the people themselves. It is set out by the person.
Take your time,
we
hun.
allow our peoples to make our own decisions how we want to deal with this thing.
So what's going on?
Oh, Mr. Bill, he's making good suggestion to have some livestock association, but to include some rules and protection for the bison, and therefore have laws that can be executed under private company according to the bison. Okay. But I am telling him that this thing is not going to happen.
I mean, the thing is that you could independently then employ, you know what I mean, to privately protect the bison. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that would, you know, regardless of how it gets done, the less deaths of bison is obviously the main factor of what everyone wants. You know what I mean?
And this way they will tell you to become a ranger. And when you are, and we have tried the rangers not so long ago, and that went sideways.
Fuck the rangers.
They will want to control it. That is the whole point.
But
even for the
I'm uncontrollable more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. But even for the security companies around here, those security companies are not allowed to secure the bison. This is what we're saying. They are also not allowed to do certain things. If they are caught with certain tools, if they do not have a license for this tool, and even with the license, if they use that tool and the governments or the laws decided, meh, we don't like how you used it.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your license gone and you to Sisika. Sadly, this is how it is. There is a, how do you say? There's no, what is it? The democracy.
No, I understand. But
so,
democracy, you know, not to be all political here, but democracy is a falsehood.
This is true.
It was created by less powerful men to, you know, let's say, enslave the masses. You know, I believe that every man is free. I believe that every person is free to make their own choices. Like I said to you yesterday, more, you know, I'll kill a man. It's not, you know what I mean? I'd never want to kill another man, but I would kill a man if it happened so come to that, if I felt that was the right situation. You know, I would not do it or not protect myself or not protect my family or my friends and people around me just for the fact that some people have made up this rule that I can't do it. You know what I mean? You know, like you said, oh, that guy was killing bison and run a herd into you. You know what I mean? If I was you, I'm not in your boot, and obviously, understandably, the bison don't mean as much to you. As much to me as they do to you. You know what I mean? But if I was in your position, I would have just skinned that fucking guy and buried him out in the fields.
Sure.
But you chose to talk.
And had it not been me, that might have happened.
Exactly. But I think that should be the, if you make that the standard, do you know what I mean? Maybe then people would understand more.
No, because that way, what will happen is that people will look to those who do these things to implement these ways as savage. They will. Let me tell you a true story. Maybe it can bring some understanding. A young man, 16 years old, grabbed a woman. He cut the belly open, and he took the baby out and stamped on it. This woman died as well. The baby died. And when the peoples came together and there was a standard agreement on how to deal with this man, The law was not too bad about it initially, but then, oh, the people got mad because it was only a child. So you see, the thing is, it is not always just the law that you have to deal with. It is also the whole community. Many people have a warped idea of what is right and wrong. They did not care for the child or the mother that was dead. They cared that it was a child that was actually hunted down and dealt with. And he was not killed, but he was punished. And openly so. Not secret behind closed doors, not behind the law's back. No, we stood clearly, openly, and took our consequences. But the consequences that came after that was far worse for us. Why? Because it was a child. Oh, the poor child, he is only a kid. How can you do these things? Not considering what this child had done, because when a child can do this thing, he is no longer a child. And this is what I'm saying. It is the same with the bison. If you make a stand, it is okay. Maybe even the law can agree. But when the people then take a problem with this, because you have heard
Jeffrey's the only one that's also talking as well, sweetie.
Member, you have heard what they think is a good person, then you and everybody, your family and your friends will all suffer for it. So even just on that simple principle, there is a difficulty there. I am not saying it is impossible. Perhaps you have a better ways than most of us. Perhaps you can do this thing.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.